You make my day so much better, man.
Up on News Live at 6, how one SU student is making an impact, one sign at a time.
My life was 12 million wrong. That's why I moved out and came to the U.S.
Plus, one Syracuse doctor's own war against the Iranian government.
Plus, it's pretty warm out here today. I'll have what you can expect for the rest of the week when News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
One Syracuse student is proving it doesn't take much to change someone's day. Hello and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Holdmeyer.
And I'm Cora Mayer-Costa. Our Michael Batson joins us live in studio now to tell us more. Michael, what is this effort making a difference?
Thanks, Laura and Cora. Well, on a campus that rarely slows down, that effort is nothing more than a handmade sign and a smile. Guys, take a look.
You make my day so much better, man.
Have a great day.
You too.
There's so much division and so much fear. I hope by being out here, people can see that, at least someone's trying to make the world a better place.
He's not trying to solve everything. Rather, just one moment at a time.
I think it's really needed. All over social media, you see negative, scary, fear-mongering information being spread. And so the thesis behind it is kind of just one positive thing a day.
Most days, the message comes down to just one word.
Word smile is in a lot of my signs. And regardless of if it might not have the most drastic impact, but it's boosting positivity and it's making their day a little better. So
and for the students passing by, it works.
I love the optimism and the positivity that it brings to campus, especially like when you're having a bad day and you're walking by, knowing that this guy who knows nothing about my life cares about me is like awe-inspiring.
But this busy campus crossway isn't where the story begins. Rather, in a small Vermont town.
My grandfather back home was out there 25 years, and I saw the impact that he had on our community. He really made a difference.
And his grandfather's advice? Simple.
From the start was just really adamant that it's about the sign, it's about the message, it's not about me.
So now he takes a seat at his own intersection and lets the message speak for itself.
I think it's a great way to kind of quickly turn around what might be a difficult day or a bad day, and it reminds you to, that things are good, life is good.
And guys, Sign Guy is just another reminder that making the world a better place doesn't have to start big. Reporting in studio, Michael Batson. Guys, back to you.
Well, thank you, Michael. And staying on campus, University Union has announced a royal evening with Brittany Broski. She is an internet influencer famous for her podcast, The Broski Report. This event will be in 2 weeks on Wednesday the 18th. It's at 7:30 in the Goldstein Auditorium. Unfortunately for fans just finding out, tickets have been sold out. This night will include talks about what it was like to interview her favorite artists and idols, her own music, and her journey as a creator.
Talk about journey, honestly. Brittany Broski recently just interviewed Harry Styles.
Yeah.
From being a fan to the interviewer, it's just amazing to see her grow.
I mean, what an accomplishment. Obviously, Harry Styles is huge in American culture, especially nowadays with the new album coming out.
Oh, 100%.
And it's just so amazing to see, how somebody can take something as simple as loving to interview people and speak on a podcast and get to know some of the biggest celebrities in the world.
It's really inspiring for all of us. Now, to the latest across the street at SUNY Upstate Medical.
Our Ben Ross spoke to a doctor who has opposed the Iranian government for nearly 50 years.
The U.S.-Iran war is now into its 5th day. Over the weekend, the U.S. and Israel carried out major airstrikes across Iran, targeting military and government sites. Those strikes led to the fall of Iran's ruling regime, which had been in power for nearly 5 decades.
For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder.
At SUNY Upstate Medical University in Syracuse, Dr. Reza Sahidi says he has dedicated his whole life to fighting against the corrupt government. In Syracuse, he is part of an opposition group that for years has been trying to spread the word about the regime.
Since I'm in the U.S., I try to basically inform not only Iranian but also, my friends in the U.S. and also U.S. representative about this global threat.
Saidi says he's glad to see the regime being taken down. In Iran, his life was at risk for speaking out against the government.
I was fighting against it in Iran, but it was very dangerous. My life was threatening in Iran. That's why I moved out and came to U.S.
The death toll has now risen to more than 1,000 people, with thousands more injured. Saidi says this is the reality of war, but believes U.S. involvement could ultimately lead to a more democratic process in Iran.
It's sad that during this process people might die, and my heart is with the families of those victims. But I think in the long term, this is good for Iran, and this is good for humanity.
In Syracuse, Ben Ross, Citrus TV News.
Thank you, Ben. Sticking with the Iranian conflict and its ramifications, the owner of local discount Syracuse shoe repair and his friend are stuck in Dubai. Owner Ralph Rotello and Brian Salisbury says they planned a trip to Dubai 3 months ago. In an interview with CNY Central reports they saw a hotel nearby get hit with debris. This then ignited a fire. The men did not say they felt endangered, and they have a flight to Syracuse set for tomorrow.
All right, Cora. Well, today was a more pleasant day on campus that we've had in past weeks.
Exactly. Seeing the sunny skies really cheered me up. I ended up eating lunch outside today.
It was just a beautiful day. I didn't even have to wear my coat here, which I mentioned earlier. Great surprise for, early in March.
Exactly.
But let's go now to our Kate Tannenbaum, who is live outside with the latest on tonight's conditions.
Yeah, guys, it is around 42 degrees out here right now, and it is absolutely beautiful. You can see that I'm not even wearing a coat, and when I was walking around campus earlier today, I can tell you that I saw many other students doing the same. Now, if you take a look behind me here, you can see that not all of the snow has melted, but we can see the grass for the first time in what feels like months, which is incredibly exciting. Hopefully that means spring is coming soon. And as we head into the evening tonight, temperatures are going to drop to around 31 degrees, and there is a chance of rain late in the evening, but not to worry because those temperatures are just going to keep climbing for the rest of the week, and I'll have more details later on in the show.
Kate, thank you. Educators in the Syracuse City School District say teacher shortages are reaching a critical point. This comes after reports reveal that more than 300 teachers in Syracuse are not fully certified. In New York State, schools can only hire someone who isn't certified if they try and fail to find a teacher with those qualifications. The Syracuse Teachers Association says the shortage has been building for years. They say upcoming retirements and fewer people going through the teacher preparation programs are reason for this. District leaders say they are working on solutions. One of these is making certifications more accessible.
Onondaga Republican leaders met at the county courthouse this morning. They spoke out against the state's rising utility costs. Minority Leader Brian May attributes this to state climate law. May says a memo from the State Energy Research Department shows increases of more than $4,000 annually. Republicans have created a formal petition for Governor Hochul to repeal the climate law. Representative Tim Burtis says this is not political, it's about affordability. We hope every resident will sign the petition.
And sticking with politics, one director took a deep dive into the dangers of social media being politically involved.
There was a movie screening last night in the Joyce Hergenheim Auditorium. Our reporter Perlene Deal has the full story.
You can do anything. That's amazing.
Last night, the Newhouse School showed an exclusive screening of an unreleased political thriller film called PH1.
Filmmakers here, or people in that side of here.
It's about an elected official who's on the verge of passing a big piece of legislation when something happens where someone helps take control of his life because of some missteps that he may have had, and he's given 90 minutes to help fix those missteps before the control over the media and his physical space becomes his demise.
This movie deals with themes such as truth and blackmail, but also shows how social media plays a persistent role in politics, especially when it comes to representatives.
In terms of elected officials who are dealing with very complicated issues, and who are trying to get you, an audience, to agree, vote for them, social media, while it gives them access to lots of people, doesn't actually give them a tool to explore or explain a complicated argument or a complicated problem or solution. And so in that sense, I think it's done a great disservice.
To combat these frustrations, filmmaker Mark Kaysen, alongside Chris Evans and Joe Kiani, founded A Starting Point, a civic engagement platform that helps voters better understand issues in a bipartisan manner. As for PH1, there is no official release date yet. Perline Diol, Citrus TV News.
Thank you, Perline. And now to the latest. Developers say they're preparing for the demolition of the former Great Northern Mall in Clay nearby the airport. The mall is expected to be torn down later this month. Developers are still waiting on a required permit to begin this process. The space will be turned into a massive residential, retail, and medical complex that will include hotels and entertainment venues. The developer says he's searching for a new partner and a potential buyer.
And just north up I-81, another mall in Watertown is ready to be sold. The Salmon Run Mall is owned by Syracuse-based Pyramid Management Group, who also manages Destiny USA. This isn't the first time the Pyramid has struggled financially, with having 3 other foreclosures in the past few years. The mall is still nearly 90% occupied by stores like Regal Cinemas, Best Buy, and JCPenney.
And 2 campuses in Auburn were closed today due to an alleged threat. The Auburn Enlarged City School District and the Auburn campus of Cayuga Community canceled classes. Law enforcement did not explicitly say what the threat was. The superintendent of the Auburn Enlarged City School District sent a letter to families this morning. This notified them of the situation and classes would be canceled out of caution.
National School Breakfast Week happens the first full week of March every year. It highlights the role morning meals play in student success. Governor Hochul spoke earlier today explaining why providing meals for students gives them more opportunity.
Kids just can't learn on an empty stomach. It is a distraction. Think about adults. You get the hangries late in the afternoon if you don't get that Snickers candy bar or whatever you eat.
Hochul says 275 million free school meals have been served across the state in the past 6 months. She says this saves families up to $450 million in groceries each month. And coming up on News Live at 6, Pete Hegseth spoke this morning at the Pentagon. We'll tell you what he said.
Plus, the price of oil is going up. We'll tell you why when the News Live at 6 returns. Stay tuned.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You're watching Citrus TV News, live at 6, with Cora Mayer-Costa, Lauren Holdmeyer, and Kate Tannenbaum. Now, your campus news leader continues.
This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not.
a fair fight.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. That was Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth speaking about the attack on Iran this morning. Hegseth says war could continue for up to 8 weeks.
He confirmed this morning the U.S. has torpedoed an Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean. Hegseth says this is the first ship sunk by a submarine since World War II.
In Iran, their state media reports the government is delaying any public mourning ceremonies for their leader, who was killed in the joint airstrikes last Saturday. His body was previously set to be displayed in Tehran today.
Hegseth says the United States and Israel will have complete control of the Iranian airspace by the end of the week. This means they will have complete power over the Iranian skies. Hegseth also added, quote, Iran will be able to do nothing about it.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff also spoke at the conference this morning. He says the U.S. military will begin expanding inland to Iran.
And now to the latest on global supply chains. The war in Iran has stopped oil tanker movement in the Strait of Hormuz. This is a pathway where a fifth of the world's oil passes through. This will cause oil prices around the world to rise.
It will also disrupt wider global supply chains. This could affect pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, and oil-based products like fertilizers. This is because cargo ships are either stuck in the Persian Gulf or have to make a much longer trip around the southern tip of Africa.
President Trump pitched an idea to solve this yesterday. He told the International Development Finance Corporation to give tankers political risk insurance.
This is typically given to businesses to protect them from financial losses due to political conditions. The president says the U.S. Navy would also escort oil tankers if needed.
And with midterms just months away, Texas Republicans John Cornyn and Ken Paxton will head to a runoff election after this week's primary.
Cornyn, the incumbent, has held his seat since 2002 and led the primary. Paxton, who serves as the state's attorney general, trailed by just over 20,000 votes.
Now in Texas, a candidate must win a majority of the vote to decide a primary. A third candidate, Representative Wesley Hunt, prevented either from receiving the majority.
Cornyn and Paxton will now face each other in May for the runoff. The winner will face Representative James Tallarico after his victory in the Democratic primary last night over Representative Jasmine Crockett.
When we come back, I'll have your 5-day forecast. Stick with us.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is
28-1.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. We're taking a look at your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow there is a chance of rain after around 4 p.m. with a high of 43 and a low of 36. On Friday it's going to be partly cloudy with that high of 48 and a low of 40. Saturday there are going to be some showers again, but it's going to be very warm with a high of 62 and a low of 41. Sunday it'll be partly cloudy again with a high of 53 and a low of 40. And on Monday it's going to be very warm again with a high of 61 and a low of 49. And now with even more good news, Daylight savings time is this Sunday. On the second Sunday of March every year, we always spring forward, and this is the earliest that it can possibly be because the first day of March was also a Sunday. Now that does mean we're going to have to lose an hour of sleep, but on the bright side, sunrise and sunset will be an hour later every single day. So on Monday, the first day after we get this hour, sunrise is going to be at 7:27 in the morning, and it's not going to set till around 7:04 p.m. So after we get back from spring break, hopefully we'll be able to do some live at 6 shows with the sun shining the whole time. I'm incredibly excited, but guys, I'm gonna send it back to you.
Okay, Kate, looking forward to some longer days in our near
Fingers
future.
crossed, please.
Well, FedEx has announced it will be closing some of its facilities in New York State this June.
Now, some of these locations closing include stores in Syracuse, Utica, Ithaca, and Watertown, among others. FedEx says this is in preparation for the Network 2.0 project, which aims to make deliveries smoother.
FedEx says the closings of certain stores will allow it to combine its networks to work smarter and serve customers better, and will better serve customers throughout the state. And now...
Well, guys, it's been an interesting stretch for Syracuse men's basketball. SU continued its southern trip yesterday against Louisville while trying to snap a 6-game road losing streak. Could SU finally end the skid? All that and more coming up on Sports.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Well, with spring break just a week away at Syracuse University, it's a busy time for athletics around the Hill. Welcome into sports. I'm Brooke Kilgore. Syracuse men's basketball headed into last night's matchup against Louisville with a chip on its shoulder. The Orange coming off an 88-83 loss to Wake Forest on Saturday, followed by an emotional press conference from head coach Adrian Autry about the team coming up short too often this season. So could that narrative change in Kentucky? Well, at the KFC Yum Center, an early deficit held down the Orange on both sides, struggling to overcome that sluggish start. However, the Cardinals pulling away with a 15-4 run in the first half. Overall, Louisville connecting on 14 of 35 from downtown with 5 triples each from Ryan Conwell and Isaac McNeely. SU's Donnie Freeman posted his third double-double of the season with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Even with his efforts, the Orange never drew closer than 11 points for the rest of the game. With that loss, SU drops its 7th consecutive road loss, 77-62, and plays its final game at home on Saturday against Pitt with tip-off at 4:30. On the topic of bouncing back, number 15 Syracuse women's lacrosse seems to find its footing. After facing some of the top teams in the country, SU brought a 2-game win streak into last night's matchup with the West Coast foe Cal. Let's take a look at that final. A cylinder firing on both ends. SU's defense would hold Cal to 3 goals, the fewest allowed in a single game since February 2020. The Orange would only give up 4 shots on goal in contrast to their 26 takes. On the offensive end, Mackenzie Rich recorded her first hat trick along with an assist to match her career high in points. Overall, the Orange would score 11 unanswered goals after the first period for their 3rd consecutive win. SU welcomes Virginia Tech into the Dome on Friday. First draw is at 5. And we're going to go back to the hardwood now. Syracuse women's basketball fights for a spot in March Madness in its first game of the 2026 Ally ACC tournament tomorrow. As the 7th seed, SU will face number 10 Cal after the Golden Bears' 75-52 win against Wake Forest earlier today. The Orange beat the Golden Bears in triple overtime earlier this season and will take them on again after their first round bye. Tip-off is slated for 5 p.m. tomorrow at Gas South Arena in Georgia. And to the ice, the Sabres continue their hot streak with a 3-2 win over the Golden Knights yesterday. Tage Thompson notched his first goal at the KeyBank Center since returning from the Winter Olympics a week ago. With that win, Buffalo improves to 16-6-2 since the start of the season. And of course, we're going to have to take a look at this because look at that. The team holds a 2nd place seat in the Atlantic Division with 70 points overall, 2 back from Tampa. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brooke. Now, while the Sabres have their hot streak, I'm hoping we'll have a hot streak here in Syracuse.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your wake-up weather.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse.
Can I tell you a cat joke?
Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did Cavs go on vacation? New York.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. We're looking at your wake-up weather. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be around 35 degrees at 9 a.m. and it's going to be mostly cloudy. By noon, it's going to get up all the way to 40 degrees, but then at 6 p.m., it's going to stay around that temperature, but in the evening, there is a chance of some rain.
Kate, I'm very excited that it's finally above freezing in Syracuse. We don't get to see that too often in March, so that's a treat for us.
I agree. No, exactly. Well, the snow is almost all melted, as you can tell by looking outside. And Kate, you were live earlier. It was just beautiful out, and with that comes
spring break.
And it's going to be so beautiful, so excited. So what are you guys doing?
I am headed to the lovely, warm, city region of Buffalo, New York. I'm going to spend some time with my best friend, but of course we're going to go to the KeyBank Center, see these Buffalo Sabres in action, so It should be a great week.
That's exciting. You're not escaping the cold.
No, I am not, but we're going to try.
Maybe a warmer stretch is coming.
We'll see, especially with all the weather you've been talking about.
Oh yes. How about you, Kate?
I'm kind of going to be driving all over Pennsylvania. I'm going to head up to Pittsburgh to visit some family and then head back home to Philadelphia.
So you might not be getting a break from that cold either.
Probably not.
A nice little road trip. That's always great.
Well, I'm going to sunny, beautiful Florida.
Ooh, Can't so
wait.
jealous.
Yeah, I feel like it's been, other than today, I feel like it's been forever since I've seen the sun. So I'm really needing this break.
Listen,
needing some warmth. I need to lay on the beach.
Some vitamin D even.
Some vitamin D.
You might not get into that.
Unfortunately, Arizona was calling, but unfortunately it just did not work out.
Cora, what are you doing for break?
Well, I'm going to be on a flight to Florence tomorrow. So I'm going to head out of here from JFK. So really excited for that.
Exotic. That should be super exciting. I hope you have some delicious Italian food.
I got to learn Italian one day. I'll be out here. I don't know.
It's a long flight. You can learn on the
flight.
flight.
My 25% Italian will really just take me the way there.
Well, I'm jealous of you. I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time, and as will you up here in the Northeast.
We'll do our best.
We'll
send
try.
our best wishes to you, Cora, and have a safe flight.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that's Citrus Live at 6 for this Wednesday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now, I'm Cora Mayer-Costa.
And I'm Lauren Holdmeyer. Have a great evening.